as Elaine said, I am the first and only data scientist at GlobalGiving. I'm the only person on staff with the word data in my title. I'm the only person on staff who's focused on that, all hours of the day. We have a staff of roughly 50 to 60 people, depending on who you count. Most of us are based in DC, a handful of folks in the UK, and then several one-offs kind of spread both across the US and around the world. And we would not be able to do what we do if we didn't provide a way for all of those people who wouldn't necessarily identify as data people, which a term I don't really like, but I'm going to use it anyway. We would not be able to do what we do if we couldn't get those people singing along. And so the way this has been an ongoing process. It continues to be an ongoing process. But the way that we have found has been most effective to do that is with tools like this. This is a screenshot of a tool called Metabase. Is people familiar with Metabase? Handful of folks. Metabase is basically an open source version of like a Looker or a Power BI. It's a way of allowing people to ask and answer questions of data. You can certainly write code if that's something you're comfortable with, but you don't have to. And that feature, to be able to go from a question asked by someone, say, on our program team, who has an intimate understanding of the challenges that our nonprofit partners face, but maybe not a great understanding of like the data that underlies that, they can go to Metabase and fairly easily, using a GUI here, make a visualization that then they can drill into. We've spent a lot of time building the infrastructure to make this possible. A lot of it is just Python and SQL, roll your own ETL. But then with this, again, open source and critically free, we are a nonprofit, free tool that sits on top of it that allows that level of integration. And I think it's important to note here also that we specifically do not, and I have messed this up plenty of times, try and push too much off onto the rest of staff. If Pete Seeger were to stand in front of an audience and say, okay, we're all now going to sing this song that's 12 verses long, here we go, 1, 2, 3, that would not go well. Instead, he says, you just have to learn these 2 words. And whenever those 2 words come up, sing along. And having that kind of bounded level of involvement makes people feel, okay, 2 words, I can handle that. In the same way, we don't ask people to write any code unless they feel comfortable doing that, they want to learn that. We don't ask people to do any kinds of crazy, complex math. Generally, what I tell people is, if you feel like you need to do math, come and ask me. I'll help you through it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, we'll talk about it. But this kind of thing, just a chart of, what is this? This is, this is how much money did we raise last year by day? Incidentally, Giving Tuesday is real. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. This is Giving Tuesday. A lot of these spikes are campaigns we run throughout the year. This little blip here, that's Hurricane Dorian and the work that the Disaster Recovery Network was doing on supporting people impacted by that. So this is a good example of the level of singing along that we encourage all staff, regardless, all the way down from, we don't have interns, but we have fellows, all the way up to the executive team. And it's a constant dance of how much can we give people, how much should we give people, and I would not claim to have gotten it right all the time, certainly not, but this has been a really effective way to facilitate collaboration and ultimately allow us to punch above our weight when it comes to our data resourcing.